Right then, let's get one thing straight from the very beginning. When we talk about a user story in project management, we are definitely not talking about, Jack and the Beanstalk. This isn't make-believe. It's one of the most practical, most powerful tools you can have for getting to grips with what your customers actually need. Okay, let's dive in.
Come on, we've all been there, haven't we? You know the one. The project that starts with all this promise, but a few weeks in, nobody really seems to know what's going on, the deadlines become a vague memory, and the budget is, well, let's not even talk about the budget. It's just organized chaos. So why does this happen so often?
This old chestnut. Sound familiar? This is the classic, very polite project manager way of saying they haven't got a Scooby-Doo what they actually want. And you know what? It's the root of so much project failure, this fuzzy, unclear understanding of what on earth we're actually supposed to be building and who for.
So, how do we fight this fuzz? How do we get everyone on the same page, from the client all the way to the coder? Well, we do it by telling a really simple, really clear story. A story that builds empathy and puts a real, living, breathing human being at the heart of everything we do. This, my friends, is where the magic happens.
Now, the absolute beauty of a user story is just how simple it is. It is not a 300-page technical document. It's definitely not a legally binding contract carved in stone. The best way to think of it is as a promise to have a conversation. It's just a short, sharp sentence that puts the most important person in the room, the user, right at the center of the act.
So, how do we actually go about crafting one of these powerful little sentences? Well, you're in luck, because there's a brilliantly simple formula for it. It's like a recipe that forces us to think about not just what we're building, but who we're building it for, and, this is the most important bit, why they should even care.
And here it is, the holy trinity of user stories. Who, what, and why. As A, that defines the person. It gives us a character. I want, that describes their immediate goal, the action they want to take. And so that explains the benefit, the value, the real reason this whole thing is worth doing in the first place. Get these three parts right, and you're golden.
All right, let's have a bit of fun with this. Imagine we're building the most British invention of all time. A fully automated tea-making robot. Glorious. First up, who is this for? We don't just say a user. No, let's be specific. It's for a busy tea lover. See, we're already painting a picture. We're starting to understand their world a little bit better.
Simple enough, isn't it? No technical jargon needed. We don't need to say, I want a robotic arm to dispense aqueous solution heated to 100 degrees Celsius over a Camellia sinensis leaf infusion bag. No, we just state the goal clearly. I want a robot to make my tea. Job done.
And here it is, the absolute crucial point, the so that. This is where the real value is hiding. Why do they want this robot? So that I can get a perfect cup of tea while still tucked up in bed. Because let's be honest, that is the absolute dream, isn't it? This why is what motivates the team and justifies the work. It's the emotional core of the whole request.
Right, so you can write a story. You've got the formula down pat. But is it any good? Is it ready for the development team to actually start working on? Or is it a bit, vague? For that, we need a quality checklist.
And here is the best checklist in the business. It's called INVEST. It's a fantastic little acronym to keep in your back pocket. A good story should be independent of others. It needs to be negotiable. Now this is key. It means the story isn't some fixed contract. The team can discuss how to best achieve the goal. Maybe a simple button is better than a complex dropdown. The story is a conversation starter, not the final word. It also has to be valuable to the user, estimatable so the team can guess its size, small enough to get done quickly, and finally, it must be testable.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Testable sounds great, but what does it actually mean in practice? How can we prove without a shadow of a doubt that our tea-making robot has actually done its job properly? We prove it with something called acceptance criteria. Just think of them as the rules of the game. They are the specific, crystal-clear conditions that must be met. So for our T-Bot story, the criteria might be 1. The water must be at least 80 degrees Celsius. 2. The tea bag must be left in for exactly 3 minutes. And 3. The milk must be added after the tea bag is removed. Get that wrong and you're fired. See? These rules remove all the ambiguity.
So, we've got our perfect little stories, our individual bricks. But you can't build a house with just one brick, can you? So we need to zoom out a bit and see how all these small pieces fit together to create the whole project, the entire vision.
It's a fair question, right?
If all we're working with are these tiny, focused requests, how do we ever end up with a huge, functioning piece of software or a complex new business service? There has to be some kind of structure, a hierarchy, doesn't there?
Well, there is. At the very bottom, you have tiny tasks, the actual doing bits, like design the on button. A collection of those tasks makes up our user story. That's our testable piece of value. Then, a group of related stories builds an epic, which is a big feature, like a whole checkout process. And finally, a collection of epics can be grouped into a theme, which represents a massive business goal, like improve customer retention. It's all connected, from the smallest brick to the entire building.
Brilliant! So now you've got this massive pile of user stories, all organized neatly. Problem is, you can't do everything at once, unless you've somehow managed to crack time travel. So you need to decide what to build first. You need to prioritize.
One of the simplest and best ways to do this is the MOSCO method. It stands for must have, should have, could have, and won't have. Let's use a car analogy. Must-haves are the absolute essentials, the engine and the wheels. Without them, you are not going anywhere. Should-haves are important but not critical for day one, like headlights. You can still drive during the day. Could-haves are the nice little extras, the fancy heated cup holders. Great to have, but you'll survive. And won't-haves are things that are definitely out of scope for now, like the ejector seat. Maybe next time, eh? Another great way to think about it is by plotting value against effort. That beautiful green box in the top left corner, that's your sweet spot. We call those quick wins. These are the things that deliver really high value to the customer, but are pretty low effort for the team to build. I mean, it's just good sense to start there, right? You build momentum and deliver value fast.
So, the crucial point. Why have we spent all this time on this? Because, look, mastering user stories isn't just theory. It improves everything. Collaboration, planning, and your ability to deliver real value to real people. This is a fundamental skill that will make you incredibly valuable in any career that involves creating something new for other people.
So, that's our deep dive into user stories. You now have the tools to turn that chaos into clarity. So think about it. The next time you're faced with a big, messy challenge, don't write a 100-page document. Tell a story. What's the first one you'll tell?